Hi there. Today, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, that is organizational politics. We all know that it exists at some level in our organizations, but we shy away from talking about it. Today, I want to bring that topic to the forefront and talk about how you can be politically savvy, not naive, and still do good in the world, in your organization, etc. Organizational or political savviness is actually a controversial topic, as I mentioned. We often associate it with negativity. We talk about it as probably a necessary evil. We associate it being, a person who is politically savvy. We associate them with inauthenticity. We assume they are manipulative, that people who are politically savvy are manipulative. Now, regardless of whatever that is, negative or positive, the fact is we human beings are all emotional creatures. And as you can see on the screen here, Dale Carnegie has said that when dealing with people, remember that we are not dealing with logic. I'm paraphrasing. We're not dealing with logic, but emotions. We human beings are creatures of emotions. Now, those emotions do exist in organizations because we as human beings bring emotions to our work and our interactions at work. So those emotions would lead to some unconscious, conscious, or mostly unconscious biases. Now, what that happens with those biases, we tend to have insecurities. People tend to fall into the either or camp. And those insecurities then lead to people seeking safety in groups. They form their own groups, and that becomes a group, right? Or groups with common interests. So as a leader, what I would want you to do is not to stay naive. You have to be aware of the organizational or political dynamics to actually bring about the positive transformation that you want in your organization, your team, or in your career. So don't stay naive. So as I said, it is key to being successful as a leader. So we have to actually learn how to leverage emotional intelligence to handle sensitive emotional creatures and the situations that come with them at work. So that, when we leverage those emotional intelligence qualities, we then end up building relationships that we can use to achieve positive goals for ourselves, our teams, and our organization. So it is not necessarily a bad thing. It depends on, it's like any tool that, a tool in the hands of a good person is a tool for change and positivity. So it's about creating a larger good by using the dynamics in the organization. So wherever you are, whatever is happening in your organization, whether there is dirty politics, positive dynamics, etc., it's important for you to be aware and develop political skills. In this, I want to give you three key tips, three key tools and mindsets that you need to adopt to be a politically savvy person to create the larger good. So the first one is awareness of the dynamics. So it doesn't do you any good if you close your eyes and say, hey, that's manipulation going on, I don't want to get in. There is victimization or discrimination happening. So if you want to really create positive change and actually leverage the dynamics of the organization for your good and the larger good, you really have to pay attention of what is happening in the organization between the different groups, under what contexts are certain, whatever you term as politics happening. What is the context? What are the people? Who are the people involved? What are their motivations? What is the overall result, etc. So being aware of the dynamics without really dabbling with the negativity is important. So don't get into the victimhood. Don't get into closing your eyes and saying, I don't want to get involved. Definitely don't get involved in negativity, but be aware of what is happening. And the second thing that I would like you to do is create a strong stakeholder, create influential relationship, create a good influence amongst your key stakeholders. Here there is another video and another post I've done on stakeholder management that comes in key, which is about really identifying the most important and interested stakeholders in your career and for the project and the organization, and how you can develop relationships with them. I will link to that post below in comments once I finish this live video. So create that influence, network authentically with your organization. So lead with sincerity. Think about how can you be of value to them? How can you together, along with the other party, create value for the organization? So create win-win for you, and the other person will elevate how people see you as a sincere and value-adding employee, leader, etc. So create that reputation, because when you create a positive reputation and when you create impact from that positive reputation, you attract people with the same mindset and with the same energy, with the same intention. So you grow that positive network with your own energy. So you are not as minor spoke in the wheel. You are a very key player in this, and you can influence the organizational politics to be better for the larger good. But coming back to the point, stakeholder influence and networking is very important for your career and to be politically savvy. The third is self-management. So as much as we manage the external world, at the end of the day, we really have to manage our thoughts, our emotions, the stories we tell ourselves. So for example, being calm under pressure is a very important thing. And again, like I said in the first point, not playing victim, not controlling the emotions of victimhood, anger, pain, frustration. Of course, address it healthy, but if you are in the middle of a conversation, don't let that emotion run the show, right? You have to take control of your emotions and then run the show. So if you need resources on that front, ping me and I'll share that with you. So managing emotions is important. And once you manage the emotions, communicate from a strong place, knowing what you want to say and when you want to speak. So maybe you need to sometimes rein yourself in without having to talk in all conversations. You need to really time your conversations. You really need to figure out what you want to say for maximum impact. So those are the 3 tips I want to share with you today. So that you can transform dysfunctional politics into positive dynamics. And even if there are dysfunctional politics that you're not able to change in the short term, somehow can you create a pocket of positivity that impacts you positively? That's what we are looking to create. So I'm eager to know what is your take on political savviness and what is your experience with that? What are your thoughts on that? How do you handle it? So please share that with me. And if you need my support in addressing how to be politically savvy and how to grow your career as an executive and a senior leader, just send me a message and I look forward to talking to you. So with that, I bid you goodbye for today. I'll see you soon.